What's up, guys? Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back here with some more Borderlands pre-sequel news and information. But before we get into the actual topic of the video, I do want to say a big thank you to everybody for showing their support and not giving me too hard of a time for uploading Twitch highlights and clips during this transitional period while I was getting my new setup up and running. Believe me, it's been quite a stressful last 10 days for me, with my setup being down and getting everything set up correctly and running properly. But, dare I say it, knock on wood. Hey! Hey you! Get your hand out of your pants! I said knock on wood, not grab your wood. But, it looks like that I am 100% back up and running, and we are going to be doing some more pre-sequel coverage. So, last time we left off, we were in the middle of Nisha's action skill and skill tree reveal. So, what we did find out is that her action skill is called Showdown, which is basically an aimbot with massive buffs to pretty much everything that you can pretty much think of. So, we took a look at what I believe is going to be her best skill tree called Fan the Hammer, which lets her pretty much dual wield pistols forever with literally no cooldown. And I mean, when you have a capstone like that, there's no reason to not spec all the way down to that capstone, which leaves us kind of wondering what her other two skill trees are going to be. And today, we're going to be taking a look at one of them called the Law and Order skill tree. And before we get into that, I do want to say I love the reference to the fact that, you know, she drops the Law, Borderlands 2, a little bit of a nod towards the Law and Order gear set from Borderlands 2 as well. You know, little things like this that connect the franchise, it means a lot to somebody like me, especially since I love Easter eggs and searching out references and little tidbits of information. I really do love that sort of shit. But let's get ahead and look at the first skill in the tree, which is called Law. It's kind of a little bit of laziness there, though. Even though I love references, calling the first skill in the Law and Order skill tree Law, it's kind of lazy. But Law increases your shield capacity and melee damage 5% per point in the tree. So it's not a bad thing, I guess, as long as shields actually work in Borderlands pre-sequel, not really the placebo that they kind of were in Borderlands 2. Which brings us to the next skill. Order. Jesus Christ. I don't know, but for some reason I feel like they should have just had the Law and Order skills and called this something like the Justice skill tree. Like I said, I do love the Law and Order nod, but calling the first two skills in the Law and Order tree Law and Order, just, it's kind of a random observation. But, you know, anyway, we have Order, which is basically another stacking skill. And there seems to be a lot of these inside the Borderlands pre-sequel, but we'll talk about that another day. What Order does is every time you take 15% of your max health damage, you gain a stack of Order. The more stacks you have, the more of a chance that you have to instantly heal double the damage that you've already taken. So these stacks decay quickly when you're not in combat. Now, while this doesn't really sound too impressive to me off the bat, you know, I'm very curious to see if there's gonna be any class mods or shields in the game that lower your health to the point that your health is so low that pretty much every time you get shot, you gain an Order stack, and that remains to be seen. But next we have the third degree, which when your showdown ends or killing an enemy, you gain increased damage with your next melee attack. Now, this can stack up to 5 times and seems to be 20% melee damage per skill point increase, which you're looking to boost all the way up to 100% melee damage that can stack 5 times and should be about 500% extra melee damage at max stacks, which, you know, that would put it in the range of Killing Blow from 0, but her melee is a whoosh. it's a whip animation, and it seems to be maybe like it has a little bit of a range to it, but slower than the average melee. But I don't know exactly, so don't quote me on that. This is just exactly what I've seen from the gameplay from her. But let's just hope that the whip, if it does have a range, that it doesn't hinder her in any type of way here, because she seems to be, an up close and personal type of character. But to the right, we have the Rough Rider skill, which is, god damn it. Anyway, going a little bit bareback. Ooh yeah, we're gonna rough ride, nice and deep like. But this is a skill that increases your ass slam damage by 25%, and every time you deal damage, you gain 5 order stacks per enemy that's damaged from your ass slam, and it increases your order stack cap from 10 max stats all the way up to 15. Now, this seems like this plus order would be a pretty good combo to keep regenerating your health in the heat of the moment, which brings us to the next skill in the group, Wanted. Now, if you ever played GTA, you know what a Wanted level is all about. And inside of this skill tree, when damaging an enemy, if he causes you to gain a stack of order, they gain a stack of Wanted. And every time an enemy gets a stack of Wanted, a star appears above their head. And they can stack up to 5-star Wanted level. You GTA guys know exactly what I'm talking about there. You see the little stars up there above their heads. But when you damage an enemy with a Wanted level, it consumes all their Wanted stacks and deals bonus damage based on the number of stars and your character's level. And enemies will still gain Wanted levels if you have maximum order stacks, so you don't have to worry about if you're all the way stacked up on order that they won't keep gaining Wanted levels. They will if you are at max level, but we're not exactly sure how much damage that this skill can actually do, but it seems like something kind of like a little fun mini metagame to try to stack Wanted levels on enemies as high as you can. See how much damage you can hit them with. So we're gonna go ahead and come down to the mid-tier skill, which is Discipline. Oh, you rack of discipline, eh? This skill restores your shield 100% when you get 10 order stacks. When you're at 10 or more stacks, you gain improved melee damage, gun damage, and shield recharge delay for each order stack. Now, this skill also raises your order stack cap by 5. So with Order, Rough Rider, and this skill, we're now up to a max stack cap of, wow, try saying that a lot, max stack cap. You get 20 order stacks when you get all these skills put together. But given that each of these skills are improved by 1 to 1.5% per stack, it's looking like at this point it's possible to get an extra 20% melee and gun damage at the least. And while it's not an overly holy shit slam on the brakes impressive, it's not bad when you consider all the other gun skills that she has in her fan the trigger tree, and it's quite intimidating. So moving on, we have Due Process, which quite simply, after melee an enemy, you gain enema? Nice. No, not going deep like with enemas, but after melee an enemy, you gain increased gun damage with all guns by 5% per skill point. So it looks like at max level, you're gonna gain an extra 25% gun damage on top of all her other gun skills yet again. So it seems like they're setting up the Law and Order and Fan the Trigger build to kind of be an up close and personal snap the whip and pop the cap, pow, 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 remember? Pow! This is a type of cow folk, and I graze from that pasture all day long, motherfucker. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the next skill, Blood of the Guilty. And this is another kill skill in her tree, which basically gives you a stack of order and 5% of your health restored when you, or anybody, not just you, anybody in your squad kills an enemy. This skill also raises your order stack cap by another 5. So if we go ahead and spec into all of her skills that increase her order stacks, right now we should be at about 25 stacks of order, which are all augmenting her melee and gun damage and helping her heal all at the same time. And speaking of healing, once again, we have another health regen skill, and this one is called Jurisdiction. And when you go into her action skill, she regenerates health and gave movement speed bonus, which is pretty gunzergerish, but I'll take it. Doesn't sound like a bad skill. And the next one, No Pain, No Gain. Together, you get increased gun damage. The lower your health, the more damage you gain. So, yeah. Once again, the entire strategy of this tree seems to be like you want to find items in the game that would lower your overall max health so you can trigger and heal all these bonuses repeatedly, especially since everything is pretty much percentage based. So, you know, the lower the health you have, the lower the damage that it's going to take for you to go ahead and proc all these skills. And, you know, it seems like you can build her to exploit health gate to your advantage. So I hope that there's going to be some type of class mod and shield that will lower your health by a certain percentage, so we can go ahead and yeah, kind of exploit this a little bit. So we finally come down to Raring to Go, which is a really deep kill skill in the tree, and it grants reload speed and, once again, even more gun damage. And based on the amount of order stacks that we currently have, even though this isn't the most impressive skill tree that we've seen so far in the pre-sequel, my favorite thing about her is that she's all based around gun damage. You know, Wilhelm and Athena, they both have their props that deal damage. You know, he has a wolf and Satan. Athena, she has her shield. But Nisha is just a down and dirty gunslinger. And I like that about her. So, with that being said, we come down to her capstone of the tree, which is called Thunder Crackdown. Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch. It's a melee override, which causes a cone-shaped shot burst, dealing increased damage for each order stack that you have. And it also has a final order stack bonus, which, if we spec into, once again, all the skills that give us order stack increases, we should be about at a total of 30 order stacks increase, which, you know, I mean, if you spec all the way down into this tree, you might as well pick up the capstone. But from the gameplay that we've seen so far, the developers were overleveled, fighting underleveled enemies, and they used this skill, and it really was unimpressive. I don't have a lot of hope. This is gonna be like the Scorn. It's gonna be the Scorn of Borderlands 2. It's gonna be like, maybe. But at the very least, the rest of her skill tree seems to make sense and seems useful enough, but that depends a whole hell of a lot on, you know, what type of gear is in this game and whether or not that we can exploit low health to her advantage to help proc her skills a little bit easier. And that's one thing that I'm actually really excited for, is to see what type of new gear is gonna be in this game. I know you guys are excited for that too. I just tired of seeing all this other shit that we've seen before. Let's see something new. Show me that ice cream gun gearbox. So, my name is Jay, MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you could, leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives you motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. This is Nisha's Law and Order skill tree, which have the skills Law and Order as the first two skills. So, like I said, it looks like a pretty cool tree. I can't wait to play as Nisha. She just looks like my style of character. Even though her action skills kind of lame, I just want dual pistol. Pow! 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 So, like I said, my name's Jay. MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys later.